Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling something pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
The ethics of creating artificial general intelligence.
Or AGI.
AGI, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the kind of AI that can learn and think like we do.
Across all sorts of areas.
Exactly. Not just good at, one specific task.
Right, like playing chess or something.
Exactly.
It's about creating a machine that can truly think for itself.
And that's where things start to get really interesting, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're talking about potentially creating something that's smarter than us.
It's a bit like playing God, isn't it?
It really is.
Creating a new form of intelligence.
So before we even get into how we might achieve that,
Right.
the big question is, should we?
Yeah, that's the ethical dilemma right there.
What are the implications of creating something that can think for itself?
It forces us to confront some really fundamental questions.
You know what?
What does it even mean to be human?
Oh, that's deep.
What is consciousness? What's our role in the universe if we're not the only intelligent beings around?
It's almost like we're stepping into a science fiction novel.
I know, right?
But this is real life.
It is.
And the decisions we make about AGI now could have huge consequences.
For generations to come.
Absolutely.
And it's crucial to approach this with a balanced perspective.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of excitement about the potential benefits.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Imagine a world without disease or poverty.
Or climate change.
Exactly. AGI could potentially solve problems that have plagued humanity for centuries.
It's tempting to think of it as like a silver bullet.
I know what you mean.
But I guess that's where the ethics come in, right?
Absolutely.
We can't just focus on the potential benefits.
Right.
We have to consider the potential downsides, too.
The unintended consequences.
What if things go wrong?
Exactly. And that's where things get a bit more complicated.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Well, one of the biggest concerns is something called the alignment problem.
The alignment problem.
Yeah, basically it's the challenge of making sure an AGI's goals align with ours.
So even if we create an AGI that's super intelligent,
Okay.
there's no guarantee it'll use its power for good.
Or even that it'll understand good the way we do.
That's a scary thought.
It is.
We're not just talking about a software bug here.
No.
We're talking about potentially losing control of something far more intelligent than ourselves.
It's a potential intelligence explosion,
Wow.
which could reshape the very fabric of our existence.
Okay, that's enough to make anyone a little bit nervous.
I know, right?
But we can't just ignore the issue.
Exactly.
We have to face it head on.
And understand both the incredible potential
And the very real risks.
of AGI.
And that's what this deep dive is all about, right?
Precisely.
Over the next 2 segments, we'll be exploring these issues in more depth.
We'll delve into the arguments for and against AGI.
Look at the potential impacts on society.
And discuss the ethical frameworks being developed.
To guide us through this uncharted territory.
Exactly.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is.
And there are no easy answers.
No easy answers at all.
This is a topic that requires careful consideration.
Open dialogue.
And a willingness to challenge our own assumptions.
Absolutely.
It's a conversation for all of us.
Not just scientists and engineers.
Right. Everyone needs to be involved.
Philosophers, policymakers, everyday citizens.
Because the future of AGI
Is a future we are all shaping together.
Well said.
Thanks.
So buckle up, everyone.
It's going to be a fascinating ride.
Let's dive in.
So we've talked about some of the big questions around AGI.
Right.
The potential upsides.
Yeah?
And the very real risks.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It is.
But let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and focus on some of those potential benefits.
Yeah, let's talk about the good stuff.
Exactly. Because it's easy to get caught up in all the doom and gloom.
Right. The what ifs and the worst case scenarios.
Yeah, but we need to remember why people are excited about AGI in the first place.
Absolutely. There's a reason there's so much buzz around this.
Right, so let's dive into that.
Okay, well, think about fields like medicine, energy, space exploration.
Huge areas.
Huge areas, right. And AGI has the potential to completely revolutionize them.
In what way?
Well, for one thing, AGI can analyze massive amounts of data.
Way more than a human could.
Exactly. It can spot patterns that we might miss.
Okay.
And potentially design new drugs, discover new energy sources, even plan interstellar missions.
It's like having a superpowered research assistant.
Exactly. Working tirelessly 24/7.
With insights we could only dream of.
And let's not forget about the potential to enhance our own creativity.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Imagine working alongside an AGI,
Okay.
bouncing ideas off of it,
Yeah.
getting insights that push the boundaries of human ingenuity.
So it's not just about AGI doing things for us.
No,
It's about AGI collaborating with us.
it's right, a true partnership.
Each side bringing its strengths to the table.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important to frame this conversation the right way.
Okay, how do you mean it?
It's not about humans versus machines.
All right, it's not a battle.
It's about finding ways to use AI for good.
For the benefit of all humankind.
Precisely.
But, and I think this is a big but,
Okay,
how do we make sure those benefits are shared equally?
that's a really important question.
What about the potential for AGI to make existing inequalities worse?
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Or to concentrate power in the hands of just a few?
Right, we need to be very mindful of that.
Or even be used for bad purposes?
Those are all real risks, and that's why developing AGI ethically is so crucial.
So we need to be proactive, not reactive,
Absolutely. We need to think about these potential problems now
while we're still in the early stages.
and build safeguards into these systems from the very beginning.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
No, it's much broader than that.
It's about the social, political, economic context, too.
Exactly. It's about shaping the world we want to live in.
It sounds like a huge undertaking
It is, but it's also an incredible opportunity.
to reshape our world for the better.
And we need to have these conversations now.
Right, bring together all the different voices
Researchers, policymakers, ethicists, everyday people.
to make sure we're all on the same page.
And that the development of AGI is guided by our shared values.
It feels like we're at a crossroads,
I think we are.
a moment where we have this amazing potential to steer technology towards a better future,
But also a huge responsibility.
to prevent things from going wrong.
It's both exciting and daunting.
It is, and that's what makes this topic so fascinating.
And so crucial to discuss.
In the next segment, we'll look at some specific steps we can take
Practical steps.
to make sure the future of AGI is one we can all be proud of. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
talked about the potential benefits of AGI,
Mhm.
the risks, the ethical challenges.
The need for a responsible approach.
Exactly. But let's get practical for a minute.
Okay.
What can we actually do to make sure the future with AGI is a positive one?
Well, I think education is a really good place to start.
Education.
Yeah. We need to start incorporating AI ethics into school curriculums.
So like teaching kids about the potential impact of AI
Exactly. And how to think critically about technology.
from a young age
Right. It's about giving them the tools they need to understand AI,
and to question it, to shape it.
to make sure it serves humanity.
It's almost like giving them a moral compass for the digital age,
I like that analogy.
because AI is only going to become more prevalent in their lives.
Right. It's going to be a defining force in their future.
So we need to prepare them for that.
And it's not just about the next generation.
You mean adults need to learn about AI ethics too?
We all do.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, we need to make information about AI more accessible.
Right, take it out of the labs and the university.
Exactly, and encourage open dialogue about these issues.
Make it something everyone feels comfortable talking about.
Exactly.
But that's a big challenge, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, AI can seem so complex and technical.
Right. A lot of people feel like it's beyond their grasp.
So how do we make these conversations accessible to everyone?
That's where creative communication comes in.
Okay.
We need to find ways to explain these complex concepts in a way that everyone can understand.
Using simple language.
Relatable examples, analogies, stories.
Move beyond the jargon.
Exactly. Make AI ethics something that people can connect with on a personal level.
So it's not just about the information itself,
No, it's about how we present it,
how we frame it.
how we make it relevant to people's everyday lives.
It's about telling a good story.
It really is. And it's also about fostering a sense of shared responsibility.
Okay, so we all have a role to play in this.
We absolutely do.
So what does that look like in a practical sense?
Well, one important step is to push for more transparency in the tech industry.
More transparency.
Yeah.
So being open about how AI systems are being developed.
Exactly. And holding the companies that create AI accountable
Accountable for what?
for the potential consequences of their creations.
So not just celebrating the cool new tech.
No, we need to consider the potential downsides too.
And make sure there are mechanisms in place to address any harms that might occur.
Right. It's about responsible innovation.
And it sounds like collaboration is key here.
Absolutely. We need to bring together all the different stakeholders.
Researchers, policymakers, ethicists, the public.
Everyone needs to have a seat at the table.
So we can work together to create a future with AGI that benefits everyone.
That's the goal.
It sounds like a tall order, but also an incredibly exciting one.
It is.
It's like we're writing a new chapter in human history,
I love that way of putting it.
a chapter where we have the power to shape the future of intelligence itself.
And the choices we make now will determine what that future looks like.
So we need to choose wisely.
Thoughtfully and collaboratively.
Well said.
Thanks.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Time flies when you're talking about the future of intelligence.
It really does. But we hope this conversation has given you some food for thought.
And sparked your own curiosity about the fascinating world of AGI.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those minds engaged.
Until next time.
See you then.